says, I'm right here, but my physical body, you can't touch it. On the boards and the stuff that I sit in the world, we don't all gather at the table all the time because we do have positions where we work elsewhere beyond the First Nation. So can you handle people like Chester or I who travel because we do have a living? Can you handle meetings where we are visible only by telephone, still the same passion, just physically you can't touch me at the meeting?
Do we have a webcast or
Something like that, yes. Because the rest of the world is doing it. Hospitals, councils, boards, school boards, they're all doing it. But in Garden River, when I was on there the last time, they wanted you present. But it's like, okay, if I'm going to forget my job just for this once a month meeting, it's not really economically worth it to lose your job for one meeting, which you can still present yourself on the television, still have an opinion, still have a voice. And I think that's the part that I'm saying. We have a bunch of young people who do not have access to live under because there is no apartments. There are no houses. So we're denying people and following that damn Indian Act, and we could be the band who says, like other bands I work with, and say, screw the Indian Act, we're giving our people the voice that the government took away, and you catch up with us, government, we'll tell you how we're doing it. Not us go to the government. So many times we wait for the government to tell us what to do. Why doesn't the government come to us and say, how did you do it? Because other nations, I'm telling you, do it all the time. I Skype to thousands of people my messages, and their board is not sitting present all the time. I'm talking to classrooms and communities that don't have access to money to bring me there, but they definitely sit and watch me on TV.
The whole computer thing.
And it's not hard, role play. There's the TV, there's the TV, there's the TV, there's the TV, there's a motion on the floor. What's your vote? What's your vote? What's your vote? That's how we're going to bring about change. Because when the quorum has to be in-house only at the table, then you lose some of the people who are voiceless. Anybody have comment on that?
Lake State has one of those.
I have a problem with that. I think that's part of our change.
Right.
In this civilized world of technology, you know. And it would help our members too, not only what
Especially officers,
everybody knows exactly what's going on at our First Nations Grand River. And everybody has that right. So that, to me, that would be one of the first things whoever gets back, it should be looked at, and it should be approved. If council doesn't go, for you did, Chester, go to the people, you get the people involved, you got to pass that, not chief council.
And that's what I said to you in my thing. That's why someone has to put forward. If I don't get on council and one of you do, put forward the motion that we're allowed to sit at meetings via the technology. Unless sick and you can't just use it and say, well, I don't want to go there, I'm going to stay at home. No, that's not. If you're in the community, you should be able to attend. But if you're out to work with a valid reason, i.e. medically, your daughter's graduating, whatever, you shouldn't be denied your voice that the people voted. The people voted you for a reason. So let me Skype through and say, here, I still have the passion. I just physically cannot be there due to my obligation. It doesn't mean I regret it. It doesn't mean I don't want to be there. But I think that's something, regardless of whether I'm on, we have to keep up with the young people, and they're going to get more frustrated.
Not only from other people, but also from you.
The whole world is doing it. If we can watch Lady Diana get married to Kim Kardashian, my God, we can put a meeting on it.
Okay, go ahead, what?
I think that's a great idea, but I think they should even go one step further. Have a broadcast or webcast to all our band members.
I make it available.
Make it to watch and even to interact with somebody in Toronto or wherever.
Exactly.
BC wants to have a question or an issue for you to have the opportunity from where we are.
The only thing I love the idea. I'd love to see that. But past meetings I've asked this question before. We have a website that actually hasn't been updated since September 2007. Now this is not hard part of the update. It's just that the communication of it is lost for some reason. It's not that hard. We have to keep the communication going. And the internet is going to be one of the main sources of communication that we have because we can contact with everybody through that system. How many people in here do not have a computer in their home? What?
Sure, what grade?
So to the extent going back, we should be looking at more venues of communication because that's the thing that's going to really keep us strong is being able to talk to each other, let each other know what our feelings are and how.
And fact remains, we all have lives. Some of you have children that are involved in sports, you can't make the meeting, you hope a counselor brings it up, if he forgets that, it gets postponed for 2 more weeks, and then you're mad at the counselor. Meanwhile, the counselor called in sick because his daughter was sick, then you're thinking he's not being a great counselor. But meanwhile, we all have lives beyond the chief and council too. But there are ways that we can do it with technology that says, I still have respect for my position, but I also have a life and I do need to eat beyond this council position. And then people such as Joe, well, he might be able to go to one of us and say, come on, you can't make the meeting, but here, that's what we're supposed, that's how we give back to the older people and say, come here, I'll show you how.
Dennis had a comment.
As people, I think we always evolve, and this is one area that we benefit from. It's convenient for one of the council members to take part in the meeting through the technology. I think our people are always involved. Sure, that should happen. But I wouldn't want, I'm just thinking about the balance here. I wouldn't want, everybody to have that on the screen so they can watch it at home. The whole idea is to bring our people together. And to me, you gotta look for the balance there too.
I think you put specifics.
If it that too, but I think we have to fine tune this so everybody feels comfortable with it. Personally, I don't have a problem with it, but I'd like to see a balance there, that we don't have all our people sitting at home with me. I'd prefer them to come out. But if it's where you're saying that you're out of town and you're a member of the council, and if we can use that via satellite, then by all means.
Well, I also just a comment, Dennis, I think it makes it fair because when you don't work at the band office and they call an emergency meeting, I would never be able to leave my job to dash down there to get to it. Whereas if you're going to call me and say, hi, we're having a meeting, emergency, great big issue, at least I get the luxury of being invited. Because then that's where quorum has always taken over. And sometimes when you're on council, and I was on there for 4 years, I never got called about a lot of the secret day meetings.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think we can evolve technology, the people we always had. We always adjusted. This is one way that we can adjust and it can accommodate you for the benefit of the rest of us.
Okay, Chester.
I think accessibility is definitely valuable and important. One of the things that should I be elected to council, I want to be sure is that, well, first of all, that council meets monthly, and when are they meeting monthly? And ensuring that it's based on what is accessible for everybody. You know, if we have people who reside off reserve or who work and are off reserve, and depending on what their schedules are, why can't council meet on weekends? Why can't council meet in evenings or whatever meetings are being scheduled? Why can't they be accommodative to what the needs are for people who attend? Personally, I like to be face to face. I like to be present. I came up for the nomination meeting. I mean, more than half the candidates that were nominated weren't present, and they reside on reserve. I live in Brantford. I came up because I wanted to be face to face when I was being nominated. I'm here today because I want to be face to face. I want to talk to people face to face. My work takes me a lot of places where I can't be, and I want to be able to Skype in or call in through conference call or whatever. I still will participate.